Good evening, everybody. It's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters. Another video tonight. It's November 9th. We are a few hours away from the second hurricane in Florida, hitting this time the east coast of Florida. You're really talking about West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Port St. Lucie, up the coast, going through the middle. But Hurricane Nicole, I think we're going to be pretty fortunate and not get too much. Looks like we'll probably get, obviously, some winds and some water flooding, but it won't be anything like what we saw with Hurricane Ian. So, in preparation of what may or may not happen, let's talk about what to expect after you do file your hurricane claim. Now, for those of you who don't know, haven't seen my videos before, my name's Mike Keeler. I am a licensed public adjuster in Florida. And here's my contact information. You have a question, need help with a claim. So let's talk about these independent adjusters. They're not independent adjusters. I don't care where they came from. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Chicago, New York. They are not independent. This is what we're running into after Hurricane Ian. All right. I'm seeing situations where they should write for a full roof replacement and they're not. They're writing for a repair. I'm seeing things that they're missing. We're going to get into all that. But don't be fooled by, boy, that guy was so nice. His hobbies are fishing and he likes to drink vodka and tequila. And he's got 3 daughters. And he's here for 5 weeks. I mean, he loves pizza. You know, we talk for an hour. Listen, no. I'm telling you, I'm seeing these estimates that they're writing. Don't be fooled by how nice they are. To me, that's irrelevant. This is business. This is your home. Okay? You may hear something, well, we get paid on a larger estimate. That's a bunch of hogwash. Some do, some don't. But they can't just write an enormous estimate. So that's a bunch of crap. And let me tell you this phrase I always tell people. Adjusters, whether they're quote-unquote independent or they work for the insurance company directly, which is very few these days, very, very few, they will see what they want to see. And what they don't want to see, they won't see. You also hear that they may say, well, I'm going to write all this stuff up, and then it goes to the desk adjuster. So that if you have their number, right, you call them and say, hey, wait a minute. I got my initial payment and the estimate. You didn't write. Well, then he's going to say, well, it was a desk adjuster. Don't believe any of that crap. They have to write the estimate and produce it to the insurance company. We can get a copy of it. All right? The other thing, make sure you get their business card. That'd be very helpful. We're going to talk more about this. This is just a brief synopsis of this independent adjuster that everybody loves because they're so friendly. The main point I want to get across here is don't fall for it. Let them in. Don't say much. Let them do what they got to do. Let them go back to Texas or Georgia or wherever they're coming from. These guys are not writing estimates to help people. I'm seeing it. So here's the other thing. Depreciation. Expect it. Expect a lot of it. So insurance company will be taking a large amount of depreciation. And they're going to say, well, wait a minute. It's recoverable. We're going to talk about this. Stating you can get it back when you have the repairs done. Here's the problem. Let's say something costs $70,000 to replace everything and they took $25,000 depreciation. Where are you getting that $25,000 sum? You think a contractor is going to start the job and then once he's finished, wait for the recoverable depreciation? You can ask for that recoverable depreciation beforehand. And that's what we're doing. Because it's a hurricane. People don't have this money laying around. This is another ploy by the insurance company to put you in a bind. This is what they're doing. You're gonna see it. If you're watching this video and you're waiting for an initial check, expect this. I am telling you, 100% guarantee. Okay, as I mentioned, what contractor is going to do the job without money up front and once finished to get the paid when done? They're doing this hoping you forget about it because you only have 180 days to file for the recoverable depreciation. And then they won't answer you for a couple months. Listen, don't fall for this crap. If you're liking this video so far, listen, give me a like. Then also subscribe to the channel to find more videos like this. So the initial payment that I've been seeing is going to be low. They're going to lowball you, I guarantee it. So any payment made by the insurance company that I am seeing 100% between the 6 and 10 clients, I don't know exactly. But it's being done on purpose to see if you walk away. They're missing all kinds of different things in the estimate. Measured incorrectly, the prices are wrong. It's just a boatload of things. But this initial payment is going to be low. All right, so I'm seeing nothing but lowball estimates and initial payments being very low. I keep on talking about the 6 to 10 clients I have, and I wish I had an accurate count, but maybe it's a little bit more. I don't know. But I think 6 to 10 is about right. People are wondering, what the heck are they doing? They're doing it on purpose. When you got the CFO, Jimmy Petronas, who backs the insurance companies and squeezing the homeowner. The laws the last 2 years passed on July 1st of 2021 and July 1st of 2022 are making it almost impossible for a homeowner to have any rights at all. So let me give you a prime example. There's something called the Homeowners Bill of Rights in Florida. Google it. Florida Homeowner Bill of Rights. Point number one, the insurance company needs to acknowledge your claim within 14 days. 80%, 90% of the companies after this hurricane have not done that. There's no penalty against them for doing that. And there's going to be companies, as you guys know, I've heard my other videos, an insurance company in Florida has 90 days to make a payment or deny a claim. 90 days. There's going to be companies that don't make any decision whatsoever. And there's nothing you can do. You can file what's called a civil remedies notice and do the bad faith and talk the talk and walk the walk. But insurance companies laugh at that because the laws are getting more restrictive. They're no longer helping people. They're helping the insurance companies in Florida. And so you're going to get these low ball estimates, 100% guaranteed. No doubt about it. I wish I can say, no, you know what? You're not. You are. And anybody, if you hear about your neighbors getting a check, your neighbor's got a low ball check. If they're willing to accept it, fine. But it's not the full value of what the damages are. I know, because I'm seeing it with the few clients that have received checks so far. So this is something else you're going to see. You're going to be frustrated. No responses, no return calls, maybe no acknowledgement whatsoever. Some of this is being done on purpose, but some of it's also because they're overwhelmed. Insurance companies, I mentioned, are being protected by Florida politicians like the CFO, Jimmy Petronas, and Jim Boyd out of Bradenton. Jim Boyd is an insurance agent. He is an arm of insurance companies. That's why they go to him. I'm sure he's gotten some type of financial consideration for him speaking out against homeowners and for insurance companies. Inspect slow processing of your claim, if it even gets processed, and expect new adjusters to be signed a couple times during your claim. So based on these low ball estimates, based on initial payments being incredibly low, I'm predicting there's going to be 50 to 7% of these hurricane claims from Ian ending up in a lawsuit or the appraisal situation. Definitely more lawsuits than the appraisals. If you haven't seen a video of mine about the appraisals, look at my videos, look for the appraisal. Basically, here's what it is. The insurance company hires an appraiser, you hire an appraiser, or if you have a public adjuster, that person might be able to serve as your appraiser. Those two choose an umpire. There's a visitation to the home. inspecting the property, umpire makes an award. All right. So most of these claims are going to end up in lawsuits, though. And there's going to be a huge number. Probably, as you can see, yours might go that way if you're represented by a public adjuster and or an attorney. So as I mentioned, you have 90 days to make a payment or deny your claim. There's going to be a lot of companies that don't do anything within 90 days, even though it's a Florida state statute. Insurance companies don't care. They would rather pay you later, delay paying you, than paying you all right now. That's just a fact, people. Get over it. It sucks. Especially when your house is damaged from a Cat 5 hurricane. Right? It sucks. It's unfair. But this is what's happening and will continue to happen. Okay, something else you're going to expect. Roofing companies, listen. Don't sign any type of AOB direction to pay with them, right? There are a lot of good roofers that you can work with after you get your settlement. Point number 2 here, right? You don't have to deal with these. One of my clients, who I'm representing now, thankfully I saved her, but she was going to be taken advantage of. She signed one of these and panicked. She signed one of these AOBs, and we were within the 3-day period of when we could cancel it, so I made a couple phone calls. But, yeah, they were asking for her deductible up front, and this lady, poor lady, is living in a trailer that she borrowed from a friend in the driveway. She didn't have it. So, you know, my advice would be just wait till you get the settlement money and go with the roofer that you want. Don't desperately sign with some roofer because the laws have changed. These roofers can't do a lot of this. I can't promise a no deductible or waive your deductible, things of that nature. So just be careful. And one last point. You know, the door-to-door roofing companies, I'm not a big fan of, right? Because there are just, not all, but there's too many bad apples. There's too many things that you got to be careful about these days. And I'll just leave it at that. I won't go into, and I'm not, no, I'll leave it at that. So tarps, a lot of people got tarps, Cape Coral, everywhere. Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Rotunda, Port Charlotte, Northport, Captiva, just all over. Sanibel. So companies will come out the tarp and they go walk around, but don't pay them cash. Some of these companies let them bill your insurance company. Yeah, they're going to have that form, but make sure that the forms are clear about they're only doing it for the tarp. And make sure you get their business card. Make sure you find out before you sign anything or pay them anything. If you go that route, get their business card. Make sure they're local. What if the tarp blows off? What if there's a hole in a tarp? You need to have it replaced. A lot of these guys come in from out of state and then they're gone. You can't get them anymore. Right? You can't get them anymore. So here's a quick summary. Listen, you're better off getting help right from the start. Because, and obviously, I think you should look for a public adjuster first. If you think this fits your comfort level, right? Good public adjuster is going to be able to put the insurance company into a bind. Document the file is so important in order to possibly provide the insured with an avenue to file a bad faith claim lawsuit. And be careful with the attorneys and their contracts if you decide to go that route right off the bat. I'm telling you, be careful with their contracts. So I can't help but think when I'm around the Cape Coral area and Northport and driving all around Southwest Florida, I can't help but hear some ads, and Harn Levine, some other law firms who do nothing but auto accidents. Now all of a sudden, they're hurricane pros. I mean, this is, well, I'm not going to say it, but I think you guys are smart enough to understand why they're doing this shift. And I'm not sure that they have the individual's best interests. So when it comes to attorneys, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying be very careful with their contract. I've been through my share of attorneys. See, when we have to file a lawsuit, I got partnering attorneys. I've been through 8 or 9 different law firms. 8 or 9. Because of the way they've treated people, and they try and go behind my back, get the client's authority. The client's scared. And I always tell my clients, talk to me before anything happens with a settlement so that I can weigh in. Because they, being the insurance company, may give a global settlement of $80,000. And the attorney right away jumps up and down and says, wait a minute, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, my fees are $50, so you're left with $30. What if your damages are $60,000 to repair? Guess what? That attorney's getting his fees. And if you don't have anybody to help protect you, like a public adjuster, because a public adjuster refers cases to these attorneys. So the attorneys can't misbehave with a public adjuster, at least a strong-willed public adjuster. A public adjuster knows what he's doing. There ain't no damn way I'm letting an attorney boss around the client and they get more than the client if there's not enough to have everything repaired. That ain't going to happen. Not on my watch, right? And they've tried to do that before. And I've had to step in. And being that I knew they were taking advantage of the clients, I said, I will never send you another client again. Adios. I've had to do this 8, 9 times. Sometimes I've said something. Sometimes I just, you know what? That was my last case with them. I'll never send them another one. I just let it be. So, you just got to be careful with their contracts because the wording's a little different sometimes, and I just don't like what I've seen from a lot of law firms. That's all. I'll leave it at that. So here's some of my other videos. I'll put the links to them in the YouTube description below. But how to get your roof replaced after a hurricane. 5 tips before hiring a lawyer. 7 tips for filing your insurance claim. Coverages on your policy you should use after a hurricane. It doesn't have to be Hurricane Ian. It could be any hurricane. So again, my name is Mike Keeler. I'm licensed here in the state of Florida as a public adjuster. If you need help with the claim, you're having some issues with a hurricane claim, issues with the insurance company, here's how you can get a hold of me. I hope you enjoyed this video. And everybody stay safe out there with Hurricane Nicole coming our way.